my God. Oh my goodness. Welcome everyone to Real Talk Tuesday. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? My name is Mathy Nzende. I am your host and welcome to Real Talk Tuesday. So, this is exciting. This is my really first. Can I say it's my first live on YouTube? It's not really my first live on YouTube, but it is my first live. Um, yeah, and you on YouTube for a while, for a little while. So you have to bear with me because I'm still getting the hang of this. I am currently using a third-party streaming platform called Streaming IAO. So if I'm looking here, there, and everywhere, just bear with me as I'm just getting the hang of things. I'm going to be sharing. So please go in and introduce yourself in the comments. How you guys doing, YouTube family? Let me know who you are. Let me know where you're watching from. Say hi. Say how you doing. Come say hello. This is exciting. This is exciting. My first live. Oh my God, in ages. Hello, Destiny. How you doing? So I can see people from Facebook. I can see people from I think I can see people from YouTube. So this is really exciting. Oh. So say hi. Tell me where you're watching this from. As you know, what we do here, if you're watching from a specific country, let me know what country you're watching from. Let me know what area. If you're watching from the UK, because I am from the UK, say hello, hello. How you doing, beloved? Oh my God. So I am seeing you guys from multiple platforms right now. Multiple platforms. I am literally seeing you guys from YouTube and and Facebook. This is so cool. This is absolutely amazing. Why didn't I do this before, guys? Ask me, tell me, like, Matty, why didn't you do this before? I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't tell you, but I'm so glad. I'm so glad I decided. Hello, Destiny from Kansas, USA. So hold on a minute. Is Kansas next to Dallas? Because I know it's south, but I'm not entirely sure. Is Kansas next to Dallas? Let me know in a comment so I can confirm. Ah, I only see it in the movies. Okay, so like the Wizard of Oz. Yes. So let me know where Kansas is exactly. What part? Oh, thank you very much, my lovely. So yes, I am streaming from this app called Stream IAO. Thank you. Oh, it's the Midwest. Oh my God, it's the Midwest. My goodness, it's the Midwest. Yes, I have saved. Oh, it's next to Chicago. Woo! Wow, Chicago. I have never been to Chicago, guys. I have never been. I've been to the States. I've been there once. I have been to where did I go? Where did I go? I was in New York and I was in Texas. Yes, because I have family in Texas. I have my siblings. I have two brothers and a sister in Texas and a lot of nieces and nephews right now. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But I've only been there once and I'd love to go there again, hopefully very soon. But I am excited. I am excited. I'm excited. Woo! It is fun. It is fun. I hope you guys are doing well. I know you guys are going through the changes with the new president and things like that. So I hope you guys are doing well, Destiny, because I don't know what's going on at the moment. I know that the ex-president has been impeached, and now there's like the um, kind of re-inauguration and all that kind of stuff. I hope it's going well. So if keep us updated on what's happening. Oh, so you've lived in Dallas. Oh my God, you've lived in Dallas before Paris. Interesting. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. So if any of you guys are watching me from YouTube, let me know. I can only see the chats from Facebook right now. Oh yes, we have Break Out the Box. We got Break Out the Box in the house. So wherever you're watching, I would love to know. Let me know. This is so exciting. I am both live on all platforms. You guys don't know how exciting this is. It's so exciting. Please make sure you share with other people. I need to calm down. I need to calm down. That's why I have my cup of tea. I promise it's just tea. So yes, today we are going to talk about how to stop worrying about, um, people not showing up to your videos, or how to not care about what's going on around you. So let me tell you a little bit about me. If you're watching this right now, or if you're going to watch this on the replay, my name is Mathy Sende, and I am a lifestyle motivator, a speaker, coach, trainer, and I am passionate about helping shy leaders to speak with confidence and feel authentic. And some of my leaders as well, also not just shy, but they're also overthinkers. So what we do on this show, which I called Real Talk Tuesday, and I have been doing this show for almost a year on Facebook. And why didn't I think of doing it on YouTube just as well? I don't know, guys, but here we are. But Real Talk Tuesday, I started Real Talk Tuesday out of a need that I wanted to help a lot of my different leaders with confidence, mindset, and visibility. And the reason why I wanted to help them with confidence, mindset, and visibility is simply because I know that coming up, showing up on camera and speaking with confidence and speaking in front of an audience, it takes much more than just knowing how to present, knowing your script, and knowing all these other things. So this is the reason why I bought Real Talk Tuesday. So on Real Talk Tuesday, I also talk about real real scenarios which are affecting everyday lives, social issues. And I'm not talking about environmental, but I'm talking about social issues in terms of things that affect you in terms of how you communicate in everyday life, how you communicate with other people or in the workplace. So those are the kind of things that we talk about on Real Talk Tuesday. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, hello, Ava, watching from Nottingham, UK. Hello, how you doing, beautiful? So if you have any questions that you want to ask me today, I want you to go ahead and leave it in the comments. I already have some questions already from a couple of my my watchers and my members in my membership club and some of my students. And so I'm going to go through some of the questions today. But first of all, I want to find out from you, are you someone that already posts videos? Are you someone that speaks? If you are a speaker, let me know. If you are someone that's in front of the camera, or if you're someone that's completely new, that's never done this before, remember there are people who are watching this on replay. So if you're watching this on replay, put hashtag replay and let me know, where are you in your speaking life? Are you one of those people that wants to learn to speak at work? Are you one of those people that wants to learn to speak in social situations, on camera, wherever it is? Let me know in a comment. Okay. This tea's good. Cranberry juice, cranberry tea. So there are reasons why I truly believe that we worry about showing up on camera. Okay, so for the last 3 weeks, I have been running Real Talk Tuesday series on being intentional. Being intentional, because if you're not intentional with what you're going to say and how you're going to say it, what happens is you will be anxious, you will forget your words, you will start to freak out, and you may not or may never come back either on stage or on the screen. And that's really, really, it's really disappointing, because you might actually lose the courage and the momentum. Okay, so the things that we talked about in the last few days, we talked about being intentional when creating videos. So being intentional when creating videos, or being intentional when creating a speech, because if you're not intentional, if you don't plan, You're going to forget what you're going to say. Guess what? I got notes. Okay? See, the expert has notes. So if I can have notes, you can have notes. However, in having those notes, I'm not reading throughout the whole session. I am actually talking to you. So you have to be able to learn how to do that, to be able to have your notes, have your intentions, have your plan of what you're going to do, have your plans of how you're going to deliver your video or your speech, but have it in a way that is bullet forms and not something that is too scripted. I actually talk about scripts a lot, but I talk about it in a way that is bullet points and not a long form, because some people believe that having a script is literally memorizing the whole script. We don't do that here. Okay, we don't do that. All right. um Awesome. um Eva says, I used to do crazy challenges like 7 days Facebook challenge and what not to do. And that was brilliant. You were brilliant at it. Not to sound big headed, but then I stopped. I think it's like a muscle. Definitely. It definitely is a muscle. If we don't use it, it doesn't work. It's true. If you don't use it, it doesn't work. So we have to be, first is we have to be intentional in what it is that you want to post. The second thing that I've talked about last week was overthinking. Now, as I said, I work with a lot of people that are shy leaders, but some of my viewers and some of my members and some of my students and clients are also people that overthink. They have so many things to say and they don't quite know how to say it. They have so many things to say that as they are thinking and thinking, they overthink the process of actually presenting, and then they never do anything ever again. So if that's you, in the comment, let me know. Matty, that's me. I'm an overthinker. Over here, overthinkers are called Geraldines or Gerald if you are a gentleman. And shy leaders are called Francines or Frank if you are a gentleman. So whichever. But yes, let me know in the comment, which one are you? Are you a Geraldine or Gerald overthinker? Or you are a Francine, shy, or a Frank? Let me know. But today, we want to look at how to stop worrying. The reason why we worry is because we are on the impression that we come across as imposters. You see, being in front of an audience or being in front of a camera is absolutely intimidating. I think it's one of those fears that it's been mentioned that is bigger than any other fear, like the fear of dying, literally. But what I totally believe that it happens is when we worry because we are afraid of not coming across as the expert, and not we are afraid because we haven't actually found our voice. And in order to start worrying, we have to build those muscles to found our voice. We have to build those muscles to really be the person that we want to be, to really be able to deliver the way we want to be. Okay, so I want you to think about that. Whenever you're worrying about coming on camera or training or coming on stage, because our stage is now and currently the lens, I want you to think about why it is that you are worrying and what it is that's making you worry. Is it the fact that you don't have enough experience? Is it the fact that you don't know what you want to talk about? But be very, very careful and be very conscious. If you know why you are worried, then it helps you to have your thoughts clear and correct. And as we said, if we are intentional, we worry less. And we have to start focusing on the outside rather than the inside. Do you see what I mean? So if you see what I mean, if you agree with what I'm saying, give me a little thumbs up or a little like or a little hearts in the comment somewhere there. Or if you're watching me on Facebook, give me a little heart, give me a little like. I'm gonna check what you're doing on Facebook. There you go. There's a little heart there. There's a little light there. Thank you very much. I'm loving this. So I want you to think of a certain amount of things. So for you to get views or for you to get people to watch, you have to be intentional. So when I first started training and speaking, one of the things I worried about is actually people showing up to my training. So for those of you who don't know, or for those of you who know, my background is training and personal development, and I've done that for almost 20 years. Yeah, and I'm still 25. I know I started when I was 5 years old. Yes, that's how old I was when I started. Literally, I was 5 years old, guys. 5 years old. I'm lying. Don't tell them how old I am, guys. Shh. The newbies, you're gonna have to figure it out. Yeah. So when I first started training, delivering training and speaking, I was really, really nervous of actually people, showing up to my training session, but also staying with my training session. So I'll tell you a bit about what I used to train. So my background is career coaching and employability. So it means that I used to help people who wanted to find jobs, who were either long term unemployed, or they were transitioning jobs, or they were at university, or even you had directors and people who wanted to go into career transition. And I used to work with them for a long time. And what I used to do is I used to deliver training sessions like CVs, how to be confident with your employer in your interviews, and so on and so on. But when I first started, I was literally like 21, 2021. And my first audience were the same age as me. Yes, my very first audience were literally between the age of 16 and 18 or 20. Or, no, 16 and 25. Yes, 16 and 25, if I'm correct. And working with people which are literally your peer can be really intimidating. I don't know about you, but it can be really intimidating because the thing is, you know what they're like. You know their reactions. You know what they're going to do. You know how they're going to react. So you know what they're like, and that's really, really intimidating. And I remember the first training session that I had. I was working with a group of young people who came from what we call here in the UK, we call the job center. Yeah? You guys know the job center? Let me know in the comment if you know what the job center is. So it's basically the unemployment agencies. For those of you who don't know, if you're watching this, if you're international and you don't know what this is, it's the employment agency for people who are unemployed or long-term unemployed who lost their job, so on and so on. So they sent a group of people to work with me, these young people, and most of them that attended my session didn't want to be there. Okay, so my very first training session, I had to do with people who were angry, yeah, who were not happy, yeah. Some of them had been offenders actually, which means that they had been to prison. Yes. And it was really, really uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. It was so uncomfortable. Plus the peer pressure of actually talking to people the same age as you. So I know they were angry. I know they didn't want to be there. I know they were forced to be there. And at that stage, I had to think on my feet because I had to think the guy that went before me, my colleague who delivered his first session, he didn't get a word. No one flinched. There was no reaction. There was no interaction. It was absolute silence. It's like really going on stage and you have a dead audience. Has this ever happened to you? Okay, you've been to an audience, you performed, or you do comedy, and your audience was absolutely dead. Okay, so that's how it felt. Literally, that audience. So it was literally, I think, early hours in the morning. My colleagues had been on in front of the classroom and spoken to my my new client group, and then I had to go next, and I was only 21. So I felt to myself, okay, I need to think of something that's gonna get their attention because they're not gonna listen to me because I am the same age as them, and I understand what it's like, to be in a situation, to be forced, to be pushed to do something I don't want to do. So I knew that if I did something different, I would have a better retention rate. And the retention rate means that they would stay for longer and they wouldn't disappear the next day. And from going from a classroom of 20 young people, I would have those same 20 young people till the end of the program. And we had approximately a 2 weeks program to train them to become more confident in looking for work. So I went after my colleagues, and the first thing I said to them, and I was really, really honest, and this is what I said to them. I just said to them, look, guys, I know you don't want to be here, okay? I know you hate this place. And you probably hate my gut because you don't know me. I don't know you. So let's talk about what are the things that makes you not want to be here. Where would you rather be instead of being here? So that's the first thing I did. I talked about their pain points. I asked them about their problems. I asked them to be straight with me and open. I didn't beat around the bush. I didn't pretend like I knew better, because I didn't. Because I was new, they were new, and there was that heaviness and tension between us. And I thought, I've got to find a way to cut through this. So yes, I was straight with them. And for the very first few seconds, they were like kind of rumbling, going like, and one girl says, yeah, I don't want to be here because the job center made me come here. And another person said, yeah, I would rather be drawing in my graphic books. And then people started talking, and they were most of them were complaining, but they started talking. And then they started asking me questions, like, do I want to be here? What makes me want to work here? And it was really interesting. So I started, giving them information about me, telling them about who I was. I even told them that this was my first day, so I'm just as nervous as you are. And I was really, really honest. I was really, really honest with my audience. I was really open. I was really there. I was really present, because I knew that this was my only chance, my first meeting with them. If I didn't catch them right in this first session, I'd lost them. And so something really interesting happened whilst this conversation was happening. There was two young gentlemen standing at the door, and as I was talking, I was wearing a white shirt, and I was talking, I was using my hands. I was wearing this white shirt, this really nice tight fitted shirt. My shirt was kind of like stretching. So by the time I finished, and we were having giggles with the client, the new client, the students, and some of them shook my hand, and I told them, I can't wait to meet you and work with you. I got to the door, and these two guys that were at the door, that were really grumpy at first, looked up, and they were like, and they smiled like the biggest grin ever. And as I walked out the door, my colleague said to me, your shirt is open, Matty. Your shirt is open. Yes, I made a big blunder. My shirt was open. So that is the story of my first training. That is the story of me, overcoming my worries of speaking in front of a complete audience. Why am I sharing this story with you? I'm sharing this story with you because I want you guys to know that as much as I have experience, and as much as I have been trained, as much as I have done this for many, many years, it is still scary and nervous, to be able to deliver something when you don't know people. Like, my most nerving thing about showing up on video, especially Facebook Live, was that I couldn't see people on the screen. I couldn't see the numbers. My numbers was always zero when I started. It just kept saying zero, and I kept going, no one's showing up. So I used to go into my best friend's DMs and my friend's DMs. I only had two of my friends, best friends. And I used to say, hey guys, I'm gonna go live now. Can you just show up to my Facebook Live, please? Can you just show up to my Facebook Live? So I used to do that because it actually gave me a little bit of confidence, because I knew that, okay, there's two people watching, my friends are watching, even if they're not watching, they can hear me. So they're watching me. I couldn't tell the response. And I know that is worrying. But one thing I want you guys to learn from this story and from this lesson is this. First thing, I want you guys to learn to make some noise, okay? So if you're going to be speaking, if you're going to learn to speak to the camera, to connect to the camera, I want you guys to learn to make some noise. Yeah. Making some noise in the online world means promoting yourself, showing up. If you're on YouTube, it's everything to do with your SEO and your thumbnails and so on. But you've got to start making some noise. Share your work. Tell people you're going to be there. Create marketing material that gets people interested. Have little stories and reels that get people intrigued about what you're going to talk about. Make people interested in what you have to say, because until you start doing those things, then people will not show up. If you start doing those things more often, people are going to remember you. The other thing you want to do is, when you make some noise, is give them a date, give them an appointment. Tell them that you're going to be online at this day at this time, and you'll be back this day at this time every, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, whatever day. But give them an appointment for people to show up. See, I tested myself for almost a year, 11 months, almost a year of doing Facebook Live before I decided to do YouTube Live. And trust me, when I don't go online, I have people DMing me and asking me, "Hey, Maddie, where's the next live?" So I literally have to go on my Facebook page and say, "Hey guys, I'm sorry, today we're not gonna have a live because for this reason. We're not gonna have a live because for that reason." And I'm not aware of the fact that there are people who are watching me even when I'm not showing up. Okay? There are those invisible people. There are these lurkers, watchers, always watching you even when you are not showing up. These people are quiet because they are studying you, because they want to get comfortable with you. It's kind of the same thing as my students. When I was working with the training company. My students had the job center. They were quiet because they were studying me, they were observing me, they were seeing if they could trust me. So there are people who are going to be watching you on the replay. There are people that are going to be watching you after the live or during the live. And when you don't show up, they're going to look at you and they're going to think you're not serious. Okay? You have to be intentional that this is an appointment. This is a date that you have with your audience. Your audience is important. I talk about this in my last live. Your audience has your back. Your audience is ready to listen to you, but you have to be ready to hear them. You have to be prepared to bring something to the table. So when you are about to show up, instead of thinking of how many people are showing up, think of delivering as an act of service. Yeah. Think of coming outside of you, but still, but hold on. Let me explain. Coming outside of you, but still being present. And when I say coming outside of you, is when you do something for someone else, you don't think of the ultimate benefit to you. Say, for example, you're helping an old lady to cross the road. You're not thinking, "Oh, well, I'm going to post this on social media that I helped an old lady cross the road." No, you just believe that this woman needs some help and she needs someone to help her cross the road, and there's no one else here, and I'm going to be the person to do it. That's how you need to start thinking. You need to start having that mindset that regardless of when I post my videos, whether it's on YouTube or whether I show up on live, even if there's one person, even if there's two people, even if there's 3, 4, 5, whatever happens, I'm going to show up because I want to deliver as an act of service. I want to give them the skills that I have, because each one of you here have a skill. Each one of you here have a potential. Each one of you have something to offer, and that is your voice. Okay? So that's the first thing I want you to do. The second thing I want you to do is to be clear about your audience, be clear about who they are, and be clear about the problem that you solve. Are you with me? If you're with me, let me know in the comments. Be clear about who your audience is and be clear about the problem that you solve. Let me know if you agree. Yeah? You see, there's 2 reasons people want to listen to other people, because one, they have a message, and two, they're about to solve a problem. Yeah, it's the reason why most businesses are around. It's the reason why most people listen to certain people and they call them leaders. Yes, it's because they have a problem that they can solve for them, and they have a message, and you need to be clear about those things. Yeah. Okay. So I want you to start thinking about, be clear about who your audience is, and be clear about the problem that you solve. So I have some questions. I have a question from Rachel. How you doing, Rachel? Welcome to the YouTube live. Yeah, girl. I'm going to answer your question in a second, just after I finish, but I'm definitely going to answer your questions. So I will go back, I will come back to you in a second. But thank you very much for that question, Rachel. And the question is, how do you truly know who your audience is? Okay. So the first one, as I said, is be clear about your audience. If you're able to do that, you'll be able to captivate people more. The second thing I want you guys to do is bring personality. Okay. So we already talked about the fact that on YouTube, you know, the way to get noticed is with SEO and keywords, because YouTube is it's a search engine owned by Google. So it works differently. You get attention that way. But the extra attention you can get is by sharing your content on all other platforms, sharing your content and marketing your content. So the way you bring your personality is by being present. Now, some people don't know what presence is. Now, when I talk about presence, if you watch some of my other videos, I have a video on presence by Amy Cuddy, how to be present like Amy Cuddy. If you look through my playlist, you'll find the video, or I will put it after the live. But it's a really good video, and it talks about being present. Being present is bringing your best self in your toughest situation. Okay, it's finding your inner strength to have the confidence to show up in front of people. Okay, and how do you bring present? How can you be present with people that you've never seen and you terrify you really? Well, the best way to bring presence is think of a moment that you were, a certain thing. So I always say, I start with saying, if you want to know how to learn to be present, you need to start with the one word that describes you. Okay. The one word that empowers you. The one word for me is authentic or inspiring. So that is the word that a lot of people use when they talk to me, they meet me, or they say, you inspire me, Mathy. You're authentic. So that word is the word that helps you to be present. Then I want you to think of a situation where you were that word, where you were authentic, inspiring, motivational, and use that situation where you can remember the feeling, so that when you are able to speak, you bring that personality, you bring that energy, you bring that presence. And that's what presence is all about. So a lot of comedians, actors always talk about stage presence. It's the same thing, presence. Okay. Hey, Rachel, virtual hug to you, my lovely. So yes, we're talking about being present. You need to be present, and you need to bring personality, because when you bring those personalities, when you bring presence, people are excited about watching you. People are excited about being around you. People are truly, truly excited to listen to you. Remember, we want them to watch. We want them to care about what we are talking about. And when we are present, they're excited to do just that. All right. So what's the other thing? The other thing is your script. Okay, your script. So I have a video called The Simple Scripts, the best simple script ever. So if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to leave a link after this live in the comments, so you can come back in the comments and actually go and get the link for the script. So the script is basically a very simple bullet point script. So as I said before earlier on, I always say to people, do not use a memorized script. Do not memorize your script. That doesn't help you. It only makes you stressed out. It only brings more anxiety. And you will probably, at one point, you might forget what you're going to say. You have to use different things. You need to use anchors or bullet points or stories linked to your script, evidence that's connected to what you want to say. Give examples, give points, give this, give that. Does that make sense? The script is great. Yes. Wash hands. Absolutely. Break up the box, Edwina. Yes, the script is so good. Absolutely. So in the script, I have a two-in-one script that you can have access to. Actually, I think you might have access to it maybe in the definition. I don't know if I posted it, but still, you'll see it. But underneath the video, you can actually download the written scripts. It is a Facebook Live script and a YouTube script, which basically shows you how to introduce yourself, talk about what you're going to talk about, get straight to the point, and go through the points that you want to talk about, and then have a call to action at the very end. Yeah, call to action is basically giving the audience a kind of an assignment or something to do you want them to do at the end. So if you love this video, if you're watching this on replay and you want to see more video, let me know in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe at the end of this video if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're not watching on YouTube and you're watching on Facebook, come to YouTube right now and subscribe. See that? That was a call to action. Okay? If you're not clear. I was going to say the last thing, but just before the last point is the fourth point would be to be consistent. Being consistent is everything. Being consistent is something that I absolutely had to learn the hard way. Okay? Consistency in terms of how many times you post, the days that you post, when you post. Remember, as I said before, showing up on camera, showing up in front of your audience is more or less an appointment. It's a date. And if you give a date to people, you have to show up for those people. You have to make sure you stick to that. It's really important to stick to that. So you have to be consistent, because consistency means that that person will come back. They will come back on the same day at the same time that you give them. And it will also give you the motivation to show up when you say you're going to show up. You have to hold on to your word, because you promised the person something and you have to stick to it. Final thing I have to say is testing your idea. Testing your ideas, testing various videos, testing various styles, testing different content. But make sure that you are sticking to the actual theme of your videos, your audience, and what the audience needs to know, and what the problems is that you're solving. So I hope that has kind of given you a little bit of a little bit of more clarity of why we should stop worrying about showing up. If it has, let me know in the comment. I needed that. I so needed that. All right, so I'm going to answer some of your questions now, some of the questions on the screen. And I'm also going to answer a question that was asked for me by Howard, who is in my group. So let me pull out the questions for you. So the first question is I'm going to answer by Rachel Lee. Yes, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. So Rachel asked, how do you truly know who your audience is? Okay. So the first thing for me, how I knew who my audience was, I had to take some time to understand what it is that I wanted to do. So the first thing was what type of video I wanted to create. I looked at what I was good at, and what I was good at was speaking and training and confidence. So those things kind of work together. So once I identified that I wanted to use those skills to help someone else, so that's how I started to figure out what type of audience I wanted to do. What type of audience I wanted to speak to. So a few years ago, I was living in France and I was teaching English. And during that moment in France, I was teaching a lot of directors, and a lot of them were female, and a lot of them were women of color. So they were Moroccan women, Black women, Chinese women, Arab women, and a lot of them wanted to learn to speak English. But the biggest problem they had was that they were fantastic when it came to leadership, but they suffered from that confidence. And in order for me to build that confidence, I've watched everything that they used to do, and I realized that there's got to be more. So when I was teaching them English, I was coaching them, and I really loved that aspect. So I realized that I wanted to speak to women or leaders and female leaders or very shy people who needed the help with building their confidence, speaking in front of an audience, and also speaking in front of a camera, and having and feeling that they could be authentically themselves. So that's kind of how I started to realize what my audience is. Now, everybody's audience, it's not always that easy or that simple to find your audience. You have to write down on paper who it is that you want to talk to, what it is that you want to bring to them, what it is that you have to offer. And if you want to do that, I actually do something like that very much in my group. If you're not part of my group, make sure you join. It's called the Authentic Voice on Face group. You can actually join it right now, or you can join it after this live, and we'll put the link underneath the comment or in the definition so you can see it. But what I do is I actually help a lot of my students and my members to feel, to be able to identify and understand who their audience is. So we really take time in understanding who do they want to speak to, how do they want to make them feel. Now, sometimes your audience member or your niche, that's another word for audience, is usually I always say I've learned that it's usually a version of yourself a few years back. So for those of you who don't know, before I started posting on videos on YouTube, I was a shy person. No, I'm not saying shy when it comes to speaking in public and training. I wasn't shy when it came to that, but I hated the camera. I'm not gonna lie. I hated the camera. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. I didn't want to. I didn't want to watch myself. I didn't want to listen to myself. I hated it. Okay, I really, really hated it, and it just terrified me. It used to terrify me, and I totally understood that feeling of what it would be like for someone else to show up on video, and also for someone else to speak in public, because my students, the ladies that I work with in France, had the same feeling, and I realized that it was not an uncommon feeling. So that's one of the things that I realized. I realized that my audience is a version of me a few years back when I was still trying to better myself, when I was still trying to develop myself. So if you want to understand how you can decipher your audience, that's another way for you to do that. Okay, so if you have any more questions, do let me know in the comments. I know we are going quiet. We are talking today. We are talking today. And if I want to add something else to what I've said, please let me know in the comments. I will do that. So the question I have from Howard. Oh, Rachel, good way to put it. Past selves. Absolutely, absolutely, Rachel. And I hope I've answered your question. Really think about a moment where you were, because whenever I see my students, my members, my customers, my clients, my audience, the people who watch me, I see a version of myself in them. I see a version of myself 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when I was at school. I'm naturally an introverted person, but I come alive when it comes to stage, which means that, like, after this video, I don't want to talk to anybody. Introverts out there, put your hand up so I can see. Yeah, that's me. So I totally relate to how my shy leaders feel. Shy doesn't mean introverted, and shy doesn't mean that it's the same thing. It's two different things, but I totally understand. So always remember that. Where are your audience? Are they a version of you a few years ago? Are they people that you want to speak to because you're connected to something that you share with them? Maybe you didn't have a chance to feel confident or to speak with that authenticity, and you want to give people that chance because you've been through it. Sometimes it's just a question of that. Sometimes it's also related to the skill that you have. In fact, it could definitely be related to the skill that you have, or the knowledge of something that you have already, or something you want to talk about. So I have one of my students here. She used to be a teacher, but now she talks about love, life, and money. Okay, you feel me? Because she is an amazing advisor when it comes to relationship. She's fantastic when it comes to relationship advice. This woman is dope. Okay, she is dope. So she decided to start a channel, a YouTube channel, and deliver Facebook Live based all around relationships, love, life, and money. All right. So our next question. If you don't have any question, I'm going to answer this question. How do you prepare filming yourself, mindset and energy? I guess I kind of explained a little bit of that. This is a question from Howard. Howard, if you're watching, I'm answering this question now. How do I prepare myself filming my mindset and energy? So before I started this live, I was already listening to little my little favorite track. I was having my little dance party before I started. I do that because it gives me the energy that I need. The other thing about being present is that you can do a 2 minute power pause. 2 minutes, yes. So which means that a power pause is simply, standing with your legs apart, like in a star with your hands up this way, or your hands on your hip like Wonder Woman, or your hands up high like Superman. So that is a power pause. Power pause is important because power pause um, increases different types of hormones in your body, which gives you the confidence. Expanding your body, um, walking around gives you that type of energy and brings up those hormones that helps you to feel like you can take over. So the example of that is actually psychologically proven, and I read this by reading out in Amy Cuddy's book. So if you want to find that, you should definitely get the book by Amy Cuddy. How it's been proven is that when animals are out in the wilderness, they, in order to intimidate their predators and other animals who are trying to attack them, they expand. So for example, whenever you've seen a bear before, a bear in the wilderness, like, I don't know, a forest bear or a grizzly bear, right? So whenever you've seen a grizzly bear, on TV, grizzly bear are huge, right? They're huge, but most of the time they walk on their four poles, yeah, and they walk on their poles, on their forelegs, and but whenever they see another animal, i.e., a man, a human being, and they feel threatened, or any other animals, even if the animal is smaller than them, they will stand up on their two legs. And that is to show that I own this space. This is my territory. You can't come close. Now, what that does is it gives the bear confidence to walk around and intimidate whatever animal is around. So something that I do, this is basically one of my rituals that I do before coming on camera, or even before I deliver speaking gig. I deliver speaking events, or I host an event. I do that. So I remember when I did a TED talk, I was actually in the toilets doing my power pause, Wonder Woman, Superman, and dancing. So all of these things bring energy to your body. It helps you to expand. It helps you to, to really be able to feel that you can take over anything. It gives you that power that you need to have. So that's some of the things that I do before I start to film a video, or even, get going. The other thing about mindset, I have I have an affirmation of who I am on my in front of my mirror, and I repeat that mindset. And I actually repeat that all throughout the day. I repeat a mindset, an affirmation all throughout the day. I have one in front of my mirror. I have one in my bathroom that is like literally right next to my to the cabinet. So when I turn around and I want to turn on the light switch, I can just read it. It's right there. And then I brush my teeth, and then I look at myself in the mirror, and it's right there. Yeah. So that's what I do to really get that mindset and that energy in order to start filming. So the other question that I have from you guys, from Howard, is how many takes does it normally take you to finish filming usually? Okay. So he's saying this in comparison to, he's just started filming yesterday and he had to do 10 takes for his channel. And filming can be so weird. So filming yourself for the first time. So how many takes does it take? In the beginning, when I first started filming myself, when I first started doing pre-recorded videos, it took me a long time. It used to take me a whole day. Let's not even go into editing. That used to take me a longer time as well. But it used to take me a long time, a whole day, at literally to, to get my videos done. Probably maybe like 6 hours. But I wasn't prepared. 6, 7 hours. I was not prepared. So what I started doing is I started bullet pointing what I was going to say. I started bullet pointing what I needed to say. And that actually helped me to practice what I was going to say ahead of time before I could go on camera. So it means that now when I go on camera, I have already practiced what I'm going to say. And I can actually just go on camera and just say what I need to say. And if I make a mistake, I take a breath and then I continue talking. I make a mistake, I laugh it out, I take a breath, and then I continue talking. And then I also pause, because pausing is going to help me when I start editing the videos, because I can edit the places where I've spoken too long or I've made a mistake. And I can look at myself and I can look back and say, okay, that was a mistake. So those are the things that I do in order to, to have less takes. So for me, now when I film, it takes me an hour, 45 minutes just to film 4 or 5 videos, and I batch all my videos together because it's easier to do that, to prepare your videos, to be intentional, to plan them ahead of time, because life gets busy and you forget. So yes, so it takes me about 45 minutes, an hour. It could take me maybe 2 or 3 takes, but usually I try to do it in one. But the thing that I do the most is practicing before I turn on the camera. Okay, I hope that helps. The last question is, what goes through your mind when you hit upload on YouTube for your videos? I pray, Jesus, and the Google angels out there, that my videos will go viral. That's literally what I do. I pray, Jesus, and the Google angels out there, that my video is going to go viral. I'm not joking. And then I go ahead and promote my videos like it's nobody's business. I promote my videos like it's my birthday. And for people who know me, when it's my birthday, you will hear about it. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna stop here because I can tell that I've been talking for like 53 minutes. It's insane. It's insane. But I'm so happy. I'm really, really happy that this has been the first live on both, all of my platform, Facebook, my Facebook group, my Facebook page, and YouTube. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this live so far, and I hope that you've learned so much. I will be here next Tuesday and the Tuesday after. That's the aim, to be here every Tuesday. If not, I am on my Facebook page, which is Mathy L Mintende on Facebook. And if you want to ask me more questions about how to be more confident on camera, how to be more confident speaking, how to feel authentic, how to get over your camera shyness, you can actually join my Authentic Voices group, and there I can give you more intimate help and ask more intimate questions. All right, people, I hope you've enjoyed this Facebook Live. I cannot believe we did this. We did this. We did this. High five, high five, high five. If you're watching on replay, give me a high five, high five, high five. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I am aiming for the 500 subscriber mark. Woo, 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 woo. I'm aiming for that mark this year. It's going to happen. It's so close. It might actually happen this month. I'm so excited, but I cannot wait. But I just want to say thank you very much for joining me for the Real Talk Tuesday series, and I will be back very soon. I will see you again. Have a wonderful day. Mwah. Bye.